Shouldn't be the case. No. It's not the robotic salah which we might have, or autopilot salah which we might have. Yes, I'm not sure if they will have a drone salah, or I don't know. Yeah, we have Ferrari salah. Ramadan is coming, and Taraweeh. Yeah, Ferrari Imam. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, you just YouTube it, and then you see Ferrari Imam. Allahu Akbar. And I don't know. Where are you going with this? Where are you going? What do you want to prove? To be recorded in Guinness World Record, or what is it? So much. So Fatiha, it gives us this beauty of being optimistic person. And believe me, being with optimistic people, it rubs on you. As being with pessimistic people, it rubs on you. And you become like them. I have this example which I love always to give regarding the magnet theory. You be with the magnet, take a needle, put it with the magnet for a while, and then the needle becomes magnet. Why? Because this is the importance of suhbah. You know what suhbah is? Companionship. So be with the right people, you copy them. Be with the wrong people, you copy them. You see? So being an optimistic person, it gives you this ability of finding the good things. Watch yourself. From now on, watch yourself to see, am I optimistic person or pessimistic person? Am I a person of the empty half or the full half? Watch yourself. Of course, you can just ask your wife and she'll tell you the whole story, but no need for embarrassment. You can watch yourself and see. If the first thing you talk about an event or some criticize, then you are a very pessimistic, negative person. I'm not talking about constructive criticism. Yes? One of the senior shuyukh once, he was telling us that he delivered a talk. He's, mashallah, international sheikh. He delivered the talk, and after he finished, somebody approached him with a long piece of paper, and he said, Sheikh, this is for you. And the sheikh said, I thought this is, he needs something, he wrote it to me, and he wants me to help him with it, or to introduce him to somebody, or I don't know. And this is what usually people do with him. And he said, okay, what's in it? Just summarize it for me instead. He said, these are your mistakes. I've just collected your mistakes whilst you were delivering your talk. So I collected your mistakes for you to know. And the sheikh said, of course, I have mistakes. I'm not saying that I have no mistakes, but the attitude that he dealt with it. And they asked him, what did you do with the paper? He said, I didn't read it, I just throw it away. Because his intention wasn't a good intention. He just attended to write his mistakes. And for such a person, Allah will never benefit him. If you were to attend a course or a talk or whatever, just to record the mistakes, Allah will not benefit you. And I remember one of our shuyukh, rahimahullah, Sheikh Adib al-Kallas, he used to say, my son, and this is a common thing between teacher and student, they will call you my son. My son, if you were to read the 4th grade book, yes, and your intention is to benefit from it, Allah will benefit you. It never crossed my mind. It never crossed my mind that if you have the good intention to learn, even from small things, from something which you've heard 1,000,000 times, but if your intention is right, Allah will benefit you. Don't think knowledge is about accumulation. It's not about this. The true knowledge, the beneficial knowledge, it might be as Ali radiallahu anhu says, Al-ilmu nuqta katharahu al-jahilun. Knowledge is one drop but the ignorant people make it big. And I thought, wow. And some Sufis commented on that statement of Ali radiallahu anhu. They said, do you know what that point is? They said it's the point under the Bismillah. When you do dot under Bismillah, this is the dot. So the whole knowledge is under that. We started talking Sufi now. Anyway, so the approach here is the beneficial knowledge. So the Fatiha itself, of course, I've delivered probably 3 courses on Al-Fatiha. But the meaning which we want here in this very sequence, it's about the psychological transition. How to be a person of optimism. How to always do your best to see the good things around you, instead of criticizing and being upset and being grumpy and being sad. And this will rub on your family and on your work, on your employees, on this Mr. Grumpy is coming, shh, no one speaks. Why? Because he's so grumpy. But if he is Mr. Optimism, then everyone is cheerful to see him. If he is open to share goodness with others, then everyone will be happy to work with him. You see the difference? So let's watch ourselves and see, am I this person? Do people shun away from me because I'm so negative? It's enough for him or her to bring her to this project, and they will ruin it for you because of their criticism, and it destroys it. We could have done better than this. We could have fixed it. We could have no. And sometimes just a very practical tip. Sometimes those very critical people, make them lead the way. They stop criticizing because they are leading. Sometimes it's just to contain their evil, and if you can't get rid of them, of course, okay, you lead the project then. And then things will change. And he will start, or she will start doing things in a different way. Okay, khair inshallah, what shall we do? So it's about having this psychology of optimism. And the Prophet ﷺ, he is the master of optimism. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was always optimistic. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. In many occasions, many times, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was always optimistic. In the midst of Al-Khandaq, the battle of the ditch, in the midst of that, and the companions were so terrified, yes, he was so optimistic. And he said, when he was striking the heavy, big rock, he said, Inni ara khusur al-Sham. I can see the castles of Sham. And Sham at that time, it was under the Romans. And the Prophet is in the midst of this battle, and we are terrified. And what's that? Optimism. And he's telling them that, don't worry, you will pass this obstacle, and you will be able to conquer Sham and conquer the world. Optimism. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But look at us sometimes. It's too big, we can't do anything, guys, and it's a conspiracy, and it's beyond our capacity, and then all these kind of things, which just put people down. He wasn't like this, he was, of course, he wasn't as well pushing people towards hardships, but he was encouraging people to be optimistic and be grateful. When we acknowledge the favors which Allah has given to us, then we are always optimistic. We are always praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, instead of being sad and being grumpy. The Prophet, as they described him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كان عليه الصلاة والسلام دائم البشر. He was always with a smile on his face, cheerfulness. Always. And this is the status of the heart. The status of the heart reflects on the face. You can fake a smile, but people will recognize. In Arabic, we say this is a yellow smile. If it's fake, we say it's a yellow smile. I don't know in English. Do you have something similar for the fake smile? Beat that then. Okay.
Just
Plastic smile.
a rough.
Plastic.
It's
Do they say this?
forced.
Anyway, so you got the meaning.
Not as good as yellow.
So the Prophet ﷺ was always cheerful, alayhi salatu wassalam. Always with ease as well. So Fatiha is teaching us this. And we need to adopt this and check ourselves. Am I too grumpy and making things difficult? If people around you is telling you this, it should be true. Everyone is telling you this, it should be true. No, they are all wrong, I'm right. It can't be. So try to rewind and change yourself. It won't happen overnight, I know that, but the first step for change is to recognize that you have a problem. If you never recognize that you have a problem, you will never change. You will never go to the doctor unless you feel the pain. Yes? But if it was a tooth, it's too late. Because the last thing you feel is the pain, not as other diseases. Yeah? But nevertheless, we can see this sequence. I can talk about the sequence of Medina if you want. Or we can leave it for other time. So we talked about Mecca. How did the revelation, the first revelation in Mecca, establish the community? Inshallah, probably another talk, I'll take you through the Madani establishment. Medina. How did the Prophet ﷺ establish the community in Medina? Of course, building on this as well. We can't leave this behind. It's just a combination between the two, inshallah ta'ala. And you can see it's very useful, very beneficial, inshallah ta'ala. We can put it into practice, inshallah, together.
Thank you very much for that. I think it's about to be time for us, so I think in about 5 minutes. So for those of you who don't have wudu, we'll need to do wudu. Perhaps we can break, I think, now.
Yeah.
I think once we come back from